When you find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners, so when the average agent wins, everyone wins, that's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever podcast.
Hey, welcome everyone to our Financial Freedom Forever podcast. I'm super excited to be having a friend and colleague of mine, Kierra Keller from North Lake Tahoe in California with us today. You can see she's got a beautiful background there, and I don't think that's a screensaver, right?
No, it's not. It's my backyard.
Yeah, that's awesome. So welcome to our podcast, Kierra. Super excited to kind of share your story with our listeners. Hey, and anyone who's got some questions for Kierra, please go ahead and put them in the chat so we can ask her. She's a newer agent here in real estate, but some awesome background, being an onboarding manager, a kvCORE expert, virtual trainer for onboard.com, a leader of a weekly Mastermind, and more. But welcome to our podcast, Kierra.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here today. You've come so far since we first originally had met, right? And it's so great to just be a part of your journey as well.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So let's unpack your story a little bit, Kierra, about your real estate background and any personal background you want to share with us. Kind of got you here so we can give some value to our listeners, especially newer real estate agents out there. So they can be encouraged from what you've already accomplished.
Yeah. Well, just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm a ski fanatic. And so I've been in Tahoe for like the last 8 years. And I actually have a degree in ski business resort management and marketing. So nowhere near related to real estate at all. However, when the pandemic happened, ski resorts were one of the first things to close down. I'm sure a lot of people in the entertainment industry or the tourist industries were greatly affected by that. So through COVID, I had met this awesome realtor who had just joined EXP, and she was completely overwhelmed, frustrated with combining the new ways of EXP with her old business. She had been doing real estate for 25 years at the time, and she needed help. And so because I just lost my job and I love to help people, I ended up seeing what her needs were. Well, because we have this beautiful model at EXP, this turned into a beast of managing different agents within her downline, right? Now, with that, I looked at the model and said, if I could just get my real estate license, I might be able to have a piece of the pie. Right. And it's been so fantastic for me. At first, it was just kind of wrapping my brain around everything. And then it was being a new agent, all right, learning contracts and producing, how to network, nailing that presentation. And then now I have multiple sources of income, right? I have real estate, I have my downline revenue share. And then because of how I started, I also make money doing trainings for virtual assistants and helping agents onboard, building their websites, teaching lead generation. I'm absolutely in love with it. But that's just a little bit of my background. So real estate for me kind of happened on accident. It wasn't something that I have never looked at a real estate agent and said, wow, I want that life. Honestly, I looked at a real estate agent and was like, I don't know how they do it. It's can be very stressful. But then once I learned the ins and outs and surrounded myself with so many great people, I was able to just take on more, expand my capacity for more knowledge, more growth, more learning, more income. And here we are today.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I mean, when we first, connected, you were working with your agent and you were doing all the tech stuff. You helped us build our entire Trello board out. It's an onboarding system that keeps track of our, hundreds of people and our team members. And you were a huge help in helping us get that going. And it was after that, that you saw the opportunity, got your real estate license, and now you being an agent. So when we say she's relatively newer, yeah, it's definitely How many months have you been actually licensed now?
1 year as of this month.
Has it been 1 year already? Wow, time sure flies when we're having all this fun. Hey, I want to shout out to some of our listeners, Candy, Nikki, France, Jaquina. Thanks for joining us today. If you have any questions for Kierra, please put them in the chat box there, and make sure you share this on your social media outlets too, so we can get this out there for people to just add some more value. But so I mean, you're a business person, and you had your other things that you were doing, weren't really looking to get into real estate, but what were the top, 2 or 3 things that you saw when you were working for your friend to say, wow, maybe I really should take a deeper look at this?
I think when I saw most of her success and where it came from, I absolutely wanted to duplicate that. And so I saw with my mentor and sponsor, a lot of her business came from repeat business.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, how do you get to that point where people just call you? And she's like, well, it's about managing your database and staying top of mind and always caring about your clients. And I'm like, okay, well, that sounds easy, but how do we really get started? And it really just drilled down to your database and how you're using it, whether you're looking at it every day. And it really takes a lot of effort, right, to stay in front of our database. So the biggest thing was, okay, no matter what I do, if I'm going to kick butt in real estate, I need to get my database in order. And then once that kind of fizzled out and I was ready to move on and expand, because, okay, I've reached out my database, I got a couple of referrals, but we need a lot of leads in our pipeline to actually do consistent business.
Right.
So at that point, I thought, okay, well, I need to network and get out in the community. And EXP, our agent directory, made it really easy for me to find other EXP agents in my area and immediately network with them. Then I started getting referrals from these agents because I'm also providing value. Like, hey, I'm a new realtor, but I would love to just pick your brain and learn from you. I would investigate them just like a client. I would stalk them online and see what their business is like. So I would be more educated, asking the right questions to make them comfortable, and really building that trust with the community around me here locally. I wasn't just emerging as a new real estate agent, but I was emerging as a community member for really the first time, because being, 25, 26 years old, you're on that hinge of like, okay, I'm done being like a child delinquent, and now I'm going to really drill down on my business, right? So then people in your community start to see that, like, wow, she's doing all of this activity. A lot of that has to do with being active online and posting, right? But that starts to build trust with the members in your community. So it makes it easier to farm or just have an easy conversation about the market, right? So it started with my database, and networking really made me feel a lot more confident to go out there and continue producing, creating more energy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Kudos to you for getting out there and getting into the community and just jumping in with 2 feet. A lot of people are a little nervous, to get going, but you just jumped right in, and you're doing the right thing. So great job. So tell us, what is it like being, a new EXP agent, new agent within, the last 12 months of the industry?
I mean, it's very exciting. There's a lot of wins, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It can be stressful because a lot of the lessons, being first year in real estate, you don't know what you don't know. And it sounds so simple, and everybody says that. But it's a lot of like swallowing your ego, swallowing your pride, understanding that everybody's here to learn. And if you approach all of these new confusing things with a good attitude, it helps you get through it. So it's going to be stressful. You're going to have unknowns, and you're going to be wrong, and you're going to be wrong often. And so you can't let that get you, frustrated or make you think that you're going to quit. Right? Oh, I can't do this. This isn't for me. I'm never going to be able to help someone sell a house, or, oh, this contract is too confusing. Whatever your reasons are, like, oh, I don't have a website, I can't be a realtor. None of those things matter. It's really, truly all about mindset. And I think that's just part of the culture here at EXP that you have to plug into so you don't drown.
Now, I know you don't have the experience as far as being with other real estate companies to compare to, but being in business and your in your past, um, how do you compare like being in business with EXP, other EXP agents, and how they share and being owners and that kind of thing, compared to other business that you're in? What would you what comes to mind?
Well, like you said, I can't speak on any other brokerages personally because I haven't been with any other brokerage. But what I can tell you is that I've never been with a company where I've been able to have 4 or 5 different revenue streams with one company supporting all of that. You know, usually you have something really good going for you, like at a ski resort, and maybe you do like some side hustle jobs, right? Just for extra money. And that is typical no matter what company you work with. But here at EXP, once you tap into those different types of revenue streams, it just opens up a whole new world. And I've yet to see any company who can, in any industry really, support their agents or their clients the way that EXP supports us. Now, with other agents, most recently, I mean, there was an agent coming from Coldwell Banker who had kicking butt in her first year, but was continuing to like break even. And she's like, I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of doing really well and being successful, but being broke. So sometimes it was about cutting back expenses. Sometimes it was just the commission breakdown, right? It was just too much for people like Keller Williams, or there's like hidden fees, right? Or marketing fees that don't really make sense. And you have to be able to tap in and utilize that. And I think the training aspect of what to tap into, everything is here. It's just a matter of like reaching out, where with other companies, like I had some agents that were at Sotheby's and they had all of the marketing done for them. So they really didn't have control over their marketing pieces. So, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why EXP would be the best brokerage versus any other. But for me, it's the amount of income streams that I was able to create.
Okay,
For other
fantastic.
agents, it's maybe saving costs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to shout out to Russell and Steven who joined our podcast. Thanks for jumping on, guys. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box. Now, I've heard, from just misconceptions from other real estate people out there. They're thinking they say, hey, EXP is an awesome company, especially if you've been around for many years. You're a top producer. You can get your cap back, and you have the revenue share, the stocks, the ownership, and all that kind of stuff. But say the myth is, hey, it's not great for new agents, and the reason they say that is because, well, you don't have they think you don't have an office that you can go to and get hands-on training and help from your mentors or from whoever shared the opportunity with you and the people that are supporting you. I want to break that myth and let people know. I mean, you're brand new, a year, and what have you experienced as far as the collaboration and the help that you get on contracts and everything you need as a newer agent?
Yeah. So being committed to the broker meetings where they go over all of the contracts is absolutely essential. And you have to understand that the brokers, they go through different like series. So they'll do like listing agreements or disclosures or make presenting an offer. And they're in different series. And depending on what state you're in, they're not necessarily able to record those meetings. But I'm a big believer in closed mouths don't get fed. And if you're not hungry for the information and you're not asking, it's hard to help yourself out. But if you don't know where to start, call your sponsor. If they're too busy, call your mentor. If they're too busy, go into the agent directory and call any other agent. And let's say you pick up the phone and call 5 agents today, you're going to learn 5 different things and you're going to be that much smarter. Don't feel like you're on your own personal island, even though it's easy to slip into that. And I wanted to touch on what you said. It's a no-brainer for top producers. There is nothing as a top producer that you can do to benefit your future, your family, your bank account than to be a part of EXP, right? But for new agents, it's a trickle effect. So because those top producers can make alternate income, they no longer have to sell real estate. So they can put that energy into you. And I think just reminding everyone that we can supplement this income and you can grow and build and do more and train those agents around you is perfect. Also, don't forget that workplace is a crucial resource for training. There's so many little snippets on, how to go through a contract or how to network or how to find, your association of realtors and get set up with events. There's so many resources out there. You just have to come up with a game plan first and stick to it. And if you need that big, strategy, there's so many trainings out there. I mean, Andre, you have so many trainings. You're willing to have a conversation with anyone, right? And if you don't know, if your sponsor's like just not really there for you, because those agents happen, then reach out to Workplace. You can find me, Kierra Keller. You can reach out to Andre LaFountain, right? And we will be there to help you, whether you're in our downline or not, because a rising tide rises all ships, right? And the better that Andre does, the better that I do, and it's all together. So you have to get past that stigma. You have to get past that mental block that you're all by yourself and all your problems are because somebody else isn't helping you. You have to stand up for yourself and be assertive and say, this is my business. EXP gives me the freedom to build my business the way I want to with my niches. You don't have to attract agents, but you can, and you can attract agents that just elevate you, right? You don't have to talk to necessarily anybody else, but don't think that as a new agent, there are no resources. There's just so much resources. It's nice to have a roadmap to kind of follow all of that, which is why I do so much training, which is why I reach out to everyone. And we have, Agent Express or Express onboarding.com, right? So you can go and bypass all of that stuff.
I love your attitude and your energy and everything that you're sharing with the listeners. I mean, you're gonna just be a rock star agent as you continue to grow your business. And it's like you said, it's the can-do attitude, and as long as you're willing to just ask and say if that's just it. I have over 780 some people in our global team, so I can't reach out to everyone every day. I do reach out to my personal people on an ongoing basis for sure, but absolutely anyone who's emailing, texting, calling us, and getting plugged in. There's never a phone call or email or text that we don't return. And like you said, it doesn't matter if they're in the network, in our group or not, because as you said, if I help you, I mean, you're not in my network, Kierra, right? But we've had, the way we got together was somebody saw a void that we needed to try to get together with onboarding. And we came up with a small niche of 7-8 people that started our group. And we all just dug in, and with your help and everyone's contribution, we got that whole system up and running that's helping running our business. And that was just because we needed to get help, and we asked, and a bunch of people jumped in. So, and I think a lot of it's because we're all owners, right? When I help you in California, you help me in Georgia, we help somebody in Connecticut or in a different country. And the company continues to grow, and our stocks, our ownership continues to grow. We're all benefiting from it, and that's a huge deal. So, congratulations again for how you're approaching it as a newer agent. And even if you don't have, some people might be thinking, well, geez, I'm not that assertive and I just kind of need someone to hold my hand. That's okay, as long as you get plugged in. I mean, we have so many trainings that our group has, that EXP has. You're never going to be left behind. So that's cool.
I think one thing to remember too, like with the hand holding, it's okay to have multiple people help you.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
okay to not just reach out to like one person, and that's the way it's going to be, right?
Yeah, that's the way it should be. I mean, we have 7 people, in our group that all get paid by the company to help us make sure that we're successful. Where the average company, your broker might be there, your manager, they may be getting paid a salary or getting paid to help you, but the colleagues aren't. They're not. They'll help a little bit, but they're not going to probably call you at 8 o'clock in the morning or help you at 10 o'clock at night, where your business partners will, right? So that's a big difference. A great point. I want to ask you the difference between your expectations as a new agent or a new agent joining, a cloud-based company and versus reality. What were your expectations and what's the reality of your business and of joining our company?
My expectation was, especially because I train agents how to be successful, right, was that I'm going to get up and running in like 2 to 4 weeks and just be busting everything out, completely confident with all my presentations in about 30 days. That was my expectation for myself. And the reality is that after being in it with 1 year, I'm still building on everything, but I still have so much to learn. And I think that the reality of I will never be able to stop learning was like hard for me to swallow. Like I wanted to master real estate. That was my expectation. Within 1 year, I want to master real estate, whatever that means. That might mean different things to different people, but that is not at all like, you just have to be okay with you're going to be learning all the time. And so sometimes that's uncomfortable to say like, I don't know, but it's a learning process, right? So my expectation was here, and I'm reaching up to it. But every time I get to that expectation, it rises again because I learned something new.
Yeah, I believe no matter what level that you're at, there's always another level. I mean, I've been doing this 31 years in the real estate industry, and especially with the market changing with social media, and I mean, heck, we were using faxes when I got started, right? And your cell phone was a bag in the vehicle. We didn't have MLS. Our multiple listing service was books that you actually got. I guess I'm aging myself, but things are always constantly changing. But so you're absolutely right. We're just going to continue learning, and I believe when you're surrounded by other people that are like-minded and really care about you. Especially if they're doing 5, 10, 20 times more than you are, we all pull each other up, no matter how many homes you're selling or agents you're building to your team, no matter how many I'm doing, there's always somebody above us doing more, and we can reach out to them and they're going to help pull us up. And that's the collaboration has been just out of this world as far as I've ever seen in a company. Would you agree with that? The collaboration and the kind of support that you've been getting?
Yeah, I find a lot of support through Workplace. And not only that, but having eXp World as my quick and easy resource, answer any question I need, it saved me a lot of time and headache. So tapping into the few resources that we have, like I couldn't do this by myself. There's no way I could do this by myself. And I wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for the collaboration that eXp has.
Let's unpack the two things that you just mentioned. Workplace, you mentioned several times. Somebody may be thinking, what's Workplace? And in the eXp world, just unpack both those things real quick for anyone that's listening and how it's helped you grow your business.
Yeah. So with Workplace, I have used it for many reasons. For example, I got like a Chinese speaking agent. They were texting like Chinese characters to me. And I looked up another Chinese agent within Workplace because I couldn't translate. I didn't even want to try to translate. And they took over the conversation for me and just took care of it. Like it took it off my plate. So I didn't feel like it was hanging over me. But because of my market, I'm trying to get more into luxury real estate. So I just researched in Workplace like luxury real estate agents, and I found listing presentations. I found a bunch of different marketing materials and a book recommendation for luxury language, all through Workplace. So when it comes to like what other people are posting and using, Workplace was essential. Now with eXp World, whenever I couldn't figure out something on my website or whenever I needed help on a contract, I would be in EXP world talking to my brokers, talking to agent support, or talking to IT or accounting, and I get that resolved immediately. EXP world is your office. It's a virtual office, but it's live, just like how Andre and I are live right now, right?
Right.
So going in there, not having to send an email and wait for a response 2 days later, and then I figure it out. Now I have more emails in my inbox than I really want. I can just go get it resolved in EXP World. So we can connect to our brokers. There's global operations in there. So when I first started onboarding agents in Canada, I went straight to global operations, learned the process, and boom, we're onboarding agents in Canada. But they also have that for everyone. So tap into Workplace and EXP World. Those are your main resources for this network.
Yeah, exactly. EXP World is phenomenal. When I first saw it, it's like, yeah, this is the future. It's the Amazon or real estate, and be able to get access to everybody immediately, and your brokers, and everyone. Last I heard, we had 2,500 employees, that are all there from, like, I think it's 9 a.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and the brokers are on call on the weekend. So that's pretty phenomenal. And Workplace is by Facebook. It's like Facebook, but just for work. And our last I heard, 83,000. So we're probably at 84 or 5,000 agents now. But all the agents and all the brokers and everybody in the company is in there and has their own page. And there's all these groups that you can join from anything and everything that you can ever think of, from referral groups, luxury groups, etc. So it's it's a beautiful thing. That's what really helps the collaboration, from all these people that just want to help. And you'd be surprised. You wouldn't think people would bother. But again, because we're owners, hey, if they can help you, it just helps the company grow, and we all have ownership. So people are just more than willing to help, so we can all grow together.
Yeah.
Any major, pivot points in your business that you've had to pivot since you started?
I mean, definitely, because in the beginning it was just learning all the systems and testing all of them so that you see what you're good at. And then the pivot there was, okay, it was really just a balance of figuring out that balance of lead generation and lead nurturing and community outreach, and networking and going to events. Trying to find that balance was really my pivot, and that balance tweaks and changes all the time. I've probably had to redo my calendar as far as like, okay, Thursdays I'm going to do property tours, or Mondays I'm going to make a video about the market or something like that. I've had to pivot that all the time. And I think after my first year, my fiscal year, which was tax season, right? So just my first 6 months was actually my first year. My second 6 months in real estate is part of my second year in taxes. And so when I first looked at my numbers of this tax year and I saw how much money I've been spending on the association, on a little bit of marketing, on my business expenses, folders, signs, I already said marketing, but things like that, I realized that like I have to put my energy into money producing activities, or IPA. I think that's what the word is, income producing activities, right?
Right.
Once I realized that, it helped me work out that balance.
Yeah,
So,
money making activities, or income producing activities. That's what it's all about. You can be busy all day long and be broke.
yep.
You need to be busy doing the highest money making activities you can, and that you're good at, that you can take care of. As an agent, that's normally listing properties, showing properties, running contracts, negotiating, that kind of stuff. And you can hire people, virtual assistants, and other people, the smaller dollar per hour type activities. And that gives you more time to scale your business to the next level. So great job by realizing that and doing that earlier in your real estate career.
One other pivot I did was putting myself in front of other agents more often and shadowing. So instead of trying to learn and watch videos and review contracts and go to trainings and meetings, I just shut up and I watched an agent do their magic. And just getting that perspective from different agents really helped my business.
That's awesome. And you find agents are pretty open to allowing you to shadow them and watch what you're doing. How did you find those people, and how did that work?
Yeah, I mean, I probably have a 70% success rate from other agents saying yes.
Okay.
The other agents who've said no to me are either busy or their client was just a little, wasn't the right client to bring a stranger into, which
Okay.
happens. So I didn't
Sure.
feel like they said no because of me personally or because they didn't have the right attitude. There's always kind of a reason. But because we have this great network, I was not only able to shadow like EXP agents, but because I've been networking for a while, I was able to shadow other agents that are here locally with other companies, which
Okay.
taps into agent attraction, my grand
Yeah.
plan. But
Yeah. Good for you.
yeah, like probably 70% of people, no problem, whether it's a buyer consultation or a listing presentation, or just getting ideas of what other people are doing for open houses. Hey, see, you're doing an open house this week. Do you need any help with that?
Yeah.
Even if
Right.
I don't even get leads, I just take it as a training weekend, right? And then you'll be able to discover your own niche. If it's not fun, don't do it. You really should only be doing real estate the items that you enjoy. And there's so many different ways to do one thing, right? There's
Right.
different ways to do a presentation. There's different ways to market a house. There's different ways to do an open house. So find the way that works for you and run with it. That's how you're going to be successful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, there's even people that are not new in real estate can be learning a lot from what a lot of the advice that you're giving, Kierra. So thanks for sharing today. I always like to ask everyone, if there's anything, what would you do differently as far as joining XP? Is there anything that you wish you would have done differently?
I wish I would have taken more time in the beginning to really apply the learnings that I did. So in the beginning, I was trying to learn just everything and then at the end apply. And I think it really stunted my growth. I wish I would have, like when I learned about the marketing newsletter in the EXP Marketing Center, I wish that night I would have posted. So for me, it was just adapting to like, okay, this is a real estate business. This is a living, breathing thing that I'm going to forget what I learned if I don't apply it immediately. So when you learn something new, even if it doesn't make sense, just go for it. Go off that ledge and apply what you learned. If you learned a new buyer script, call 10 people right after you learn that script and try it on them or do some role play. I wish I would have done more role play in the very beginning for sure.
That's great. Taking action. That's true in anything. You can go to 100 different trainings and spend all kinds of money learning new things, but if you don't actually apply and take action, it's not going to do you, a whole lot of good. So great job for pointing that out. Want to shout out to Rodney. Thanks for jumping on, Rodney. And there's a bunch of other people in between that I didn't mention, but thanks for everyone jumping on our podcast today. What's your goal, Kierra? Where do you see yourself in either 2 years or even 5 years with your new real estate career here?
In the next 2 years, I would like to have my passive source of income with my downline, the agents that I'm sponsoring, be more automatic or more autonomous, kind of like the way that your business is run. And so I'm taking a commitment to really dive into agent attraction more.
Okay.
Because I feel like after, a year of real estate, I'm confident enough. It wasn't about the ability, it was about my confidence
Mm-hmm.
to talk about the industry, to talk about contracts. And so within 2 years, I want to have, I want to be making at least 5 to 10 grand of passive income from my downline. Now, within 5 years, I want to be dual licensed in a different state, and I
Okay.
want to grow my own real estate team.
That's fantastic. So if there's anyone out there listening that's anywhere near Kierra's location, or even if you're not, because of our global company, we can help agents basically anywhere. But we have your phone number on there. Please, anyone that's in California or in the market and would like to ask Kierra any questions or talk to her about joining her team or what it was like, I'm sure she'd be happy to answer questions offline and have a private conversation of what it was like for her and how she may be able to help you as well. Any last things before closing out? If anyone watching today, it could be a new agent, could be experienced, maybe it's a friend of yours that you haven't even talked to about the industry or the company yet, what would you want to make sure that they've learned from our podcast today? Does anything come to mind of what you would like to kind of close out and make sure that anyone listening learned what you want to make sure they got out of our podcast today?
Yeah. Just make sure that you don't feel like you're alone, because you're not. And if you are having issues, if you're having a bad day, shoot me a text message or call me. We're all here for you. And if you're feeling dismal, and sometimes it's a seasonal thing, plug into the EXP events. It's a great way to boost your energy and kind of revive your business. We have EXPCon, we have the Build Conference, the Cabo event, we have the Shareholder Summit. And if you're feeling kind of like not the most confident, go to one of the events and revamp your business.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I try to go to at least 5 or 6 different events a year. You could go to one almost every month if you wanted to. And I leave those with 10 more personal relationships of people that I didn't have before that are always that invested into myself with a conversation, either there at the conference or I invested into them, and they'll return the favor in the future, and we just all continue helping each other grow our businesses to the next level. So yeah, getting to the events and just and talking to people in the lines or getting your coffee or whatever it might be, it's been a game changer for me. Going out to dinner with different people, we're able to reach out to these people in different markets, in different states, different areas, and say, hey, I need help with X. It might be another agent in their area that they can talk, on the same playing field because they're in the same area or whatever it might be. So that's great advice. Last question, I'm going to let you go, is if you're a movie watcher or a book reader, what's your favorite book that you'd like to recommend or a movie that you don't want someone to miss?
Let's see here. I'm really into sci-fi. And I think it's nice to be able to think like, I don't know, extraterrestrially. But there's a really fun book. I just finished it. I'm trying to remember. It's not Area 51. That's too much. Well, I'll have to get back with you on the book, but I'll find it for you. And if you guys can have an outlet, I don't know, I think sci-fi movies are the absolute best.
Okay.
It makes you think like big picture and what's out there, and it makes you feel really small. I don't know. I think I like that. So read more sci-fi.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Kierra, so much for jumping on our Financial Freedom Forever podcast today. I'm sure we'll see you at one of the next live events. Keep doing what you're doing. Always reach out to me if you need anything. I'll do the same. And congratulations on your business. I can't wait to see what your business looks like in year 2 and year 5 with your attitude and just get it done. Personality. You're going to be one of the agents that I think people will be talking about for years to come. So great job, and happy to be in business with you.
Thank you so much, Andre.
All right. Have a great day.